Hello, and welcome back to Tradespotting. Apologies for the delay, but I'm here. I've made it. Never break the chain. And welcome back yourself, never breaking that chain there. Congratulations. Today we're going to cover GME, that's Gamestop, and AMC. If you've never met me before, I'm pretty good at this sort of thing. Used to do it for a living. Now I do it for a living and in a slightly different way. We're going to look at GameStop first. It's pretty good technical analysis, top level stuff. If you haven't seen me before, think about hitting the subscribe button, but definitely hit the like button there if you feel like appreciating, if you appreciate what we're doing. And we'll wait for everybody else to arrive, and as is tradition, here's a song. At least I think it is it?
Take your breath away. Motorbiking. 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 Motorcycling. Moving on the Queen's Highway, looking like a streak of lightning. Baby, won't you come with me? I'll take you where you wanna be. Riding up back, we doing about 95. Whoa, so good to be alive. Motorbiking, 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 motorcycling. Moving on the Queen's Highway, looking like a streak of lightning. If you gotta go, gotta go motorbike riding. Motorbiking, we go motorbiking, motorbiking, woo, we're motorcycling, moving on the Queen's Highway, looking like a streak of lightning. If you gotta go motorbike riding, motorbiking, we go motorbiking.
Might as well unmute myself now. I've noticed that. Oh, you get a blurry, Jamie. A blurry. Oh, look at that. Come on, you boy. Come on. Come on. Nearly. Oof. Really does want it, though, doesn't it? Hey, okay, buddy. Right, you find that pretty easy. You gonna be able to live without me on the... I think you're gonna have to, because I can't fix it and people want to see what's going on. That's not what we're looking for. Is it here? That'll do. That's something. That's something. Hi, Queen Bee. How are you? Good to see you. Great to see you. To see you blurry. See, the problem with this screen is, right, not only am I blurry to you, that's not like the camera really. That's the gamma radiation that I've been left with after traveling through time. So, you know, the good and the bad. Obviously, this being a GoPro, it's more rugged. I say this and I point at the Iron Brew. Still true, though. The Ghost of Dan, holy sugar. Quick selfish update. I saw my son's PP today. Poetically, the image was made of sound. How nice. Harmony. My lifelong study of the manipulation of sound is directly correlated to me being able to manipulate a woman to take a gander at my PP. That is all. Well, there you go, Dan. That's a lovely little story about the harmonic pressure and harmonic equilibrium in your life. Thank you for being so generous. What a lucky YouTuber I am to be friends with Dan. Eh? Like, seriously, eh? That's incredible that I am that lucky. That's what I think. And that Dan is that nice. Also, it's a nice story, Dan. Thank you very much. You know, I'd marry you having listened to that song that you advised me to put on the other night. That was like being off your face and happy. And it did everything for me. I say the other night, but who knows when it was. Every day's moved next into one. This is the thing with good music. So subscribers only chat is on. So if anyone's talking to me, you have to be a subscriber, which is amazing. I appreciate those. I assume that an ultrasound is made of sound. Yeah. I assume so too. Who are the coolest people that work in the hospital? The ultrasound staff. Lol, Jamie, your Iron Brew is superimposed on your camera, Tradespotting. Is it? Is it not? It's not. It's actually there. It's for reals there. What about this guy? Am I back yet? Have you managed to sort yourself out? I'm a little bit not happy about that because I had knocked the camera over the other day. Who let my ghost make donations? Daniel Groves. Daniel Groves. Ah, you see, there's the guy, the Dan, the ghost of Dan. You see, that's the ghost of Dan. He's got it now. He's now the ghost of Dan. So Daniel Groves, you might have to be Danny G. Minor, it looks like an awesome, and then Danny G. Does it work? Can we do that? Minor, it looks like an enormous can of Iron Brew, lol. It is enormous. Look, it fucking is enormous. There's my head. There's the can of Iron Brew, and I've got a massive head. What's wrong with you, you absolutely stupid camera? Stop being a stupid camera. Oh, this really is having trouble, isn't it? There's kind of Iron Brew. It manages to get that for a second, but as soon as it's in focus, it's like, I don't fancy this too much. There it is, and it is, it's huge. Come on, camera. Come on. Come on, focus. Come on. Come on. Oh, for goodness sakes. Right, well, we're about to start. Pardon me, I am really sorry about the problems around here. 69 likes, I saw it, and then it went down to 68. Somebody unliked. Oops, that was an accidental like. Where unlike that, can't let them think I like it. No, well, it's too late now. The algorithm's got you, mate. It's got you. Algorithm thinks that you love me. Whatever you do now, it's too late. It's too late. Bob Lewis. Is the cast of Dan related to Pickle Financial Dan's? No, Tradespotting. It's the famous Daniel Assange. If there was a clubhouse, his name would be on it. If there was a band, it'd be his. And it's the famous Daniel Assange. What? Don't be silly, asking silly questions. I snagged 69 through my clever fingers. Nice, you got it, Katie. Whoever gets 69 is very lucky. Katie, we may chop your head off. Whose head were we supposed to chop off yesterday we didn't get through to? DMV17 has the only reason I ever bother going out these days, to be honest. Right, so we've got some housekeeping to do, but we'll do that after we've done the GME and the AMC, okay? There's the GME in the background. What do you think of that? Does that look nice? This, I must give credit to Rocky, and from Rocky to Cory Bing Bong himself, a headless member of the DoomSlayers, famous among us. If you've not met him, you'll be lucky too. He's a freaking lovely guy. So this is the GME TA. Welcome to the GameStop technical analysis. If you've not seen me before, thank you so much for stopping by. Hopefully I'll repay that trust by giving you some worthwhile information here. We've been in a trend for a while, right? In our all-time high, our all-time low. You can take from there a number of measurements, one of which is a Fibonacci, another is a Fibonacci time zone. First a Fibonacci retracement, another Fibonacci time zone. And within that, it helps identify a structure for price action. And you can see that it will identify the psychology of the market participants to a degree via the pattern that is being formed. And at this stage, you can see that there's discounting this particular high because of the nature of it and the depth of the retracement. Insofar as we're working out what the psychology like is in this leg of price action, though still, of course, using it for Fibonacci in order to draw out our levels, and then also using the horizontals and the diagonals created for us by this pattern, we can see that we're in a rising channel. And if you look at the oscillators at the same time, you get confirmation of the signature on RSI, where your lows come in is at the end of a bullish accumulation pattern on this oscillator. You can also see that that is usually in line with a degree of bullish divergence on your momentum indicator. Here we're using the MACD. That's the moving averages convergence divergence indicator, and you can see that there's usually 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, waiting on perhaps seeing that signature evolve a little bit more. And that is the question mark that remains over how price action is going to evolve. We see that we haven't yet got a positive trend on our DMI. At the time with our previous lows, we had flux, and here we had a negative trend in ascendancy, and our ADX itself around a similar level to it is at the minute. So this is repeating 2 times. Our RSI is repeating 3 times, and we're looking for some sort of decider to come in on the MACD. And that gives you a good picture of price action on the daily time frame and where we are now. If you haven't seen the show before, if you have, then you'll know that we take things up a couple of degrees in terms of the difficulties here. So what we're looking for on this RSI is for it to, this test is putting at the minute of this bearish control zone as represented by the red box. We're looking for a bounce here. We're looking for it to recover its own moving average. That's this red line, at which point it'll turn blue on my chart. This is Rocky Outcrop's RSI EMA. You can get that at www.gumrobe.com/rockyoutcrop. It's free if you like. though it shouldn't be. Then here at the center line, we were looking to cross that on the RSI. There may be a test of it, and that may come in line with a test of our moving averages. The 50-period simple moving average is a very likely test at that point, which would suggest that this is likely a low, and that would be in line with this 200 moving average, which is a general trend check after an extreme move, which obviously we've had and have been consolidating up at resistance since. Itself a very bullish characteristic. So what we're really looking for then is a small move here to take prices to 179.50 or above, at which point we could say perhaps this, what we can see if we turn our drawings back on, this descending wedge, the third time we put in this accumulation pattern, with us having broken out of it now, perhaps that 200 or a stronger test of it, or the horizontal at 169, give or take a couple of dollars, we'll talk about that in a minute, is that retest of this area, or that hesitation we might find when we hit the center line. It could come either side of where price action is at the minute, and that'll give us more to go on at the time. But if it does break out of this wedge with that or another formation, at the time you wouldn't look at it from candlesticks, but you could do on a retest of the wedge from the price action. As you can see, there is a wedge in there too. I'll zoom in a little bit. These are the demand, and this is the supply line, and price action has been within that for its body closes since the 10th of June. The 16th of September in this formation, and the overall formation in the downward trend since the 10th of June. So you're looking for this to be a positive retest, and for all those different reasons, there might be a positive breakout to the top side of this wedge. Should there be one, you're looking at the 50-period moving average, like I say, 179.50. The next area above is the measured move. If I take this across, you can see it's from your first high to your first low within that wedge, which will likely be tested on the first or second move outside of this area once it's been confirmed on an open, close, open on the daily. So you'd likely then look towards 189.20 if you got the recovery of your 50-period moving average, at which point I'd hope that the 18-period moving average then took price action a little bit higher. The next leg you're looking to is the 618, the golden pocket. That's in line with a horizontal level of support and resistance, as you can see demarked with this orange line. And that would be the next leg of the move. That would also be the completion of a Gartley. That's a harmonic pattern that you can see drawn in the background with this X, A, B, C, D. The D point of the Gartley is the 786 from your X to your A, and that is in and around $166 to $169, depending on whereabouts you drop your markers. And there's quite a high chance, if you combine the measured move from this potential harmonic, the bullish breakout from this descending wedge, the likelihood of testing a 50 period having come to the 200 on the daily time frame, and then the targets above suggesting where price action could go next. After this point, there is a new question to be asked, and at that point you would be, from a technical analyst, would then, you do this stuff that's in a continuum, so you'd look to this point to do your technical analysis again. But one of the things you'd take into account was you'd broken this mini level of horizontal support and resistance that's come midway through this descending wedge. You'd also have recovered the 0.5 level of this Fibonacci retracement. So open and close on a daily above there, should that be next to the 618, anywhere within that golden pocket or above regardless, then you'd have broken the Dow theory for a continuation of this downtrend with this lower high and lower lows. Instead of looking to put in another test of this low and test the veracity and robustness of the trend via its lows, because you'd have put in then this higher low on a macro time frame, right? Looking across, you can see this D point comes in line with higher than this X. At which point you'd be thinking, well, maybe it's back and we're talking about an uptrend still, and you'd be then looking to identify a higher high. So at this point, your technical analysis would begin again, and that is, from a technical perspective, what is technical analysis? It's understanding that there is a problem to be solved. It's defining that problem, and then it's using the analysis of technical entities to provide you with the likelihood of your hypothesis coming true or otherwise. And so you start again here, you'd define the fact that on this recovery, you'd measure the fact that you went through your 236, so this Fibonacci itself would be valid. You'd gone through the 382, held the 0.5, and then got to the 618. That's a bullish retracement. You'd then look for tests of the 50% or that 382, or potentially even so far down as the 236. And then price action likely continues again. But you would have to worry about where you would put your entries. And so if that is the way price evolves, then it's obviously a much better idea to enter here than it would be there. And that's another reason why technical analysis can aid you in your trading, whether it be with long-term holds such as GME, or just improving your risk management with regards to entries on anything else. These are important lessons. And then beginning the technical analysis again from here with a fresh mind is also a very positive suggestion. The other side of that same story, sticking to the daily time frame, is that this harmonic could actually be something that goes slightly further down to the 166 or beyond, and that might take it down instead to the 1272, or which would be quite far down at 120 something, or it might, and that would be a very big retrace on what would ultimately have been a negative harmonic. And but there are other areas horizontally to look to before there, around 150. And then more importantly, your 200 period moving average comes in at the minute at 159 and change. And that's so likely to be a strong bounce area. So failure of this overall pattern seems unlikely. And again, that would mean that this would be the area to enter rather than even waiting any longer. And not that this is financial advice, and I don't do that sort of thing. You're just reducing the risk for you should you be able to implement this into your own thinking and trying to be helpful. So that's the idea with GME. Help GME, help you guys, right? And then 0.5618, that's what you're looking to, and that's what I'm thinking about. So that's the daily time frame, and you don't really need to look at anything else for GME, because they're the important horizontals. They're all the important characteristics of a price action recently. That's how you would approach this chart, how you draw on what I've got on, along with, maybe I didn't do an example of it, but you can draw the Fibonacci's, for example, how I measure the X to the A, trick the low to the high, because you're measuring an uptrend, you go from left to right, and that's how you drop it on, then you get your 236 and whatnot, 786 on the other end. So that's how you draw a Fibonacci. That's how you construct this on your charts. These are the moving averages that you want to look to. There is the 55 exponential in there I didn't mention. I haven't explained all about how you use these different indicators, though. If you follow Rocky Outcrop at www.youtube.com/RockyOutcrop, then you'll get a great understanding of them, and he gives them away for free. He makes them himself. They're excellent, and we're trying to build a community of 1,000 good traders. So get on that. It's at Rocky Outcrop's channel, right? And overall, you're looking at this. So if you do all those positive moves, if this proves to be a very good move, and you capture all these different horizontal levels above, 236, the 0.5, the 618, you hold the golden pocket, you break all the horizontals, you capture the moving averages, retest them, go on. You've got a positive sign on your momentum indicator, and you're doing what we expect and mentioned earlier on the RSI. Then you'll look above to the horizontals, looking left, you're thinking $220 and change, right? It's the C point of this Gartley. Thanks so much, Daniel. Above that, you're looking at Danny G. Above that, you're looking at the next extension on this Fibonacci that takes the C down to your D, and that 1272 or 1414 also confluent with the A point. When you look left on your horizontal, that's at 244. Above that, the 1618, it would be the full extension that you'd target on this being a bullish Gartley, which it looks very much like it is, and any confirmation is going to make it look very positive. The enthusiasm behind this is ridiculous. The volatility is bound to pick up. And it looks to me like the next place to look to on GME is $250. There might be a couple of extra in there, but it's $250. That's the answer. Did you do it, Larry? You're going to make me pee my pants, says James to Dan. That is nice. Everybody being nice to each other, right? So then I'm sure that all works out very well. You'll look left to your previous highs. You'll continue this formation here. You'll question, is this an ascending triangle? As I talked about a long time ago now, I think I got credit for it when on YouTube by all the other people that do this sort of thing, because, by this stage, it's a bit obvious, right? So if it is here, then you're looking to the measured move out the back of it. Where does that take you to? It takes you to what I've already identified. So everyone will be talking about after they've finished talking about this thing, which I identified ages ago. The measured move off the top side of this ascending triangle actually just takes you up to be inside this channel anyway. It takes you to your next horizontal target at $490. It's also the 1.414 extension of this previous move. You'd likely go there. It's also confluent with your all-time high. You'll likely go there. It's where price action is going to go. We're starting this move now. Choo-choo, the train is leaving the station. This is an important update on GME. You should watch this. If you watch this channel every so often, this is a video that I hope you catch. Everything important is covered here. And it's the reason you should be looking at GME right now. It is. It's the reason you should be liking this video and commenting below GameStop. Comment below this video after it is published, GameStop. Please do that. So that's your GME TA. Should have started the timer. I forgot. So what? We've been going for however long we have now. You can check your watches. Thank you very much. Right. So thanks. So that's this. This is GME. That's the picture. That's what's happened as delivered by GME on Tradespotting. And then, as I promised, AMC. We're also on the daily time frame here. Zoom in a little bit. Turn off the drawings. Where did you come from? Where did you go, Cotton Eye Joe? Looking down here, you can see this is a very bullish move. We're on the log chart. So you have a true picture of the trend. You can see that it isn't itself necessarily taken from this all-time low, but then is that where all the current market participants started defining the price action, or did new people enter the trade here, which gave it a different characteristic, a different psychology, and as I say, different market participants, because this isn't the line. It's not, although a lot of people expected it to be. Instead, it's just turn them back off so I can do it again. You'll see it forming, obviously, before I drop it. This was the low that was important for AMC. This is where you take it through. And that is the diagonal that everyone's looking at, or should be. You have then, if that, and this is like important for AMC. Underneath that, and this is not really like the best and most incredible TA in the world doing this stuff, so we'll move on to important price action later. You can see that there was a little bit of a idea behind this, at which point people will have lost some faith. You also at the same point went below your 50 period moving average when you broke this diagonal upward sloping demand line. But that was characteristic of what I actually suspect to be happening here. And I'm going to now delete all these drawings. And that is that you're putting in on a macro level a bull flag, which is fairly easy to define with its lower highs and its lower lows. Within that, you could also say perhaps it's a pennant. And take some sort of level from this low here. Price action started to break up. You could say you're coming now to the very, very tight end of this. We'll also keep this idea of the bull flag on. You had this drop outside of it. This was divergent on your RSI when you go back to your previous low. Or when you look to this most recent one, you can see, well, it is itself putting in what looks like a bullish formation with a W bottom, and perhaps, so that's similar to this nature of a head and shoulders. And you think about how that's forming at the low on the RSI. It's tested the bearish control zone twice, not managed to really get into it, recovered the center line so strongly here, how that supply line on the top now seems so straightforward on the RSI, with it touching again at the top of the bullish control zone but not getting through. And so it's within a standard range, nothing out with the ordinary. And that is defining price action when it's in a downtrend, that is with lower highs and lower lows. And now the question is slightly differently from GME, where you're definitively getting a test of a low, and will we then be able to make technical predictions from that basis. With AMC, it's like that old phrase, if that's where you're going, you don't want to be starting from here. You would much rather have a test slightly lower on AMC. But it doesn't look like you're going to get it because of the way this price action has come in. You've had a doji candle followed by someone trying to push price action lower, and your measured move taking it. OBS Studio, shut up. Hopefully you're okay and I'm still live. I haven't even taken a break to look at chat I was saying, so can't check on that yet. And so it's not all that different from GME in that when it does break out of this pattern, even if it takes to the full extent of it and gets right to 100% of a completion point, where it only really needs to look to 70 plus. If it does do that, again, at that point, you won't have any indication whether you're at the top or the bottom, so it'll be harder to make a call, but it seems quite obvious to me, really. The measured move out the top of that will take you above your all-time high at $70 and beyond. And you might be thinking, well, if that's just the first leg and we'll stick to the stupid pattern TA until such times as we've got beyond it, you might say, well, then maybe this is this bull flag somewhere from this low, could even be more bullish than that, but likely is less. It's likely more something like that. I'm going to take this and we'll take it over here and we'll say, well, where does that take price action to? And let's say you do that, and well, actually, what does that look like within the here? It's more or less the same measured move, which is again, like you might say that's a little bit disappointing, and I suppose it might be if you're looking for rock star finishes over the next few days, but the truth is it's just actually good news, because it kind of provides another idea of confluence, and you can say a test then of your previous all-time high likely from this breakout, if this proves to be a bullish breakout of this move, which wouldn't be all that ridiculous, right? Because you've made similar patterns before, most notably from your all-time, well, from this retracement, right? This long downward move. You had this breakout, you had a big retrace, right? That's probably a 0.5. 618, nearly 0.5, right? Whatever. And then from that point on, a bullish retracement held the bullish line at the 0.5 after this breakout. Certainly never got down below it again, accumulating a long side resistance. That's very bullish. It finally broke out of that pattern. You know, you could look at it the same way and say, was it a wedge? Was it a triangle? Was it a pennant? Was it a bull flag? What was it, right? You know, if you draw the bottom line on like that, you could take it from this low. Oops, pardon me. Cut out the big chunk in the middle and say it was a bullish wedge. You could do that similar thing here. You could say it was a channel, taking it to the body closes, body closes. You know, same thing you could do with this one here, right? There's those same three lines. And then the breakout, what was it like? Well, it was probably a similar measured move. Who can bother drawing it? It's pretty obvious now. That TA is stupid enough as it is. So there you go. That's that. You might also look at this and say, well, what is these similar Fibonacci's that Jim was talking about earlier? To your low, to your high, left to your right. It's an uptrend. You look at the retracement against that trend. And it's your 236 here. It comes in at around $31. The low of this formation doesn't manage to break that, then this isn't even a valid Fibonacci, and you can't even call this top a local high. You can't even say this was a local high. So on a move that smashed through its all-time high, created a new one on 100% increase on price from its stop along the way. Plus, right, it's way more, it's like 3 times more. Along that move, after that parabolic breakout, after that blue sky breakout, it didn't even put in any sort of a retracement that you could consider to be consider this to be a local top, right? That's ridiculously bullish. So is now the time to buy AMC? Well, you're looking back and you can see it's also confluent with your previous all-time high. This is a completely a group of market participants who are the shareholders in AMC now. It itself is a completely different fundamental picture if you give a shit about that kind of thing. There's still things that could improve, but I don't really care about them. Your RSI, it's above the bearish control zone. It needs to capture its own moving average and then move beyond the RSI. It is putting in, well, not some sort of pattern you could draw dead obvious. It does have bullish characteristics in the sense that it's like this W bottom, that which we could talk about on price action as well, but it's slightly more clear on the RSI with these three lows. This right hand side not being lower, price action itself nowhere near as low. It's, you know, you can't call this a W at the bottom of a trend here, because this is the top of a very strong bullish move, right? So I know you want it to go up, but that doesn't mean you can just draw stupid shit on there. And no, that doesn't work, right? It does work here because this W, you know, well, no, it doesn't even, but if you did go zoom in and see that was a W, which it was, then that was good. This retest of it being higher on price action is bullish, obviously. The trend itself hasn't yet changed, but you could expect that, right? You haven't broken any horizontal highs. You have put in lower lows. This is, in the most recent part of this leg of price action here, negative, right? It's a downtrend. And so for the RSI not to have made it lower yet, to have been like on higher time frames here in a period of flux when the trend isn't actually obvious, because there is a lot of other price action that's relevant, for the RSI to be maintaining above the bearish control zone, very positive. Cover your own moving average, get above the center line. Do that as price action is moved up, similar to GME. Test the 50 period moving average on the daily time frame. Didn't come anywhere near the 200 period moving average. It doesn't need to do that kind of a trend check if it can't even break below the 236. Hey, that's being silly. And so anxiety around AMC also kind of silly. Like, and you know, there's no need to be like that. Good traders aren't like that. So what you're looking for is this to do something positive, hit that 50 period moving average. It comes in at $39 and change, then move to the top side of this pattern. You could say it's 44. You could draw this line slightly stricter. You could do slightly other TA on this, and you could say that actually you're looking to aim at $50, and that's where AMC looks like it's going. You buy it here. This is support. That's not financial advice. It's just the way my brain works thinking about TA. You might look at it differently. And then you aim for those sort of prices. Why do we say those sort of prices? Well, we can do more on price action to define structure. Here's your high. Draw the Fibonacci from left to right because you're following price action, right? And it moves left to right. Whoop-de-doop-de, surprise, surprise. You draw it and it's a downtrend, so you go from your high to your low. And it drops in this Fibonacci. We'll move it along so that we can read it slightly more clearer. We'll also change the color of it so that it's white. And then we know which one's which. And you're looking for price action to get back above this 236 so that you can say this is a valid Fibonacci and price action is likely putting in a turnaround, and we're going to look to higher areas. This 236 came in at 35.82. We were below it. We're now above it. We've put in closes above it and potentially put in now a bullish candlestick, right? This abandoned baby, right? So we'll draw that on just so you can remember. It's also confluent with all the other TA we've been doing recently. Like we said when it was up here, or we said when it was down here, it was going up here. And when it was up here, we said it was going down here. And now it's here to say you buy it again. So if you're just tuning in now and you haven't seen this stuff before, yes, we predict the future. Yes, it's better than other people. Yes, my returns are inordinate. You're likely not to get them. It's unlikely you'd be able to copy my trading strategies. The best I can do is tell you in a true way, it's not financial advice, but this is how good traders do it. And then there's your buy, it's support. You're looking at that 50 period moving average, and then you're looking at the 382 above. It's 41.21. That might be your horizontal 39 and change. You're actually looking at that area. Is this a downward sloping channel? Is it like a wedge where you'd cut off the bottom? Is it a pennant? Is it a bull flag? None of that matters. When you're testing the top side of this demand line, all of the breakout moves all take you to the same place, apart from channel, because there is no breakout move from a channel. The measured moves all take you to the same place, and it's all back to your all-time high. But the formation on charts don't necessarily work that way. Everybody might get excited. There's no definitive news on the x-axis about when that's going to happen, and that's because price action has evolved differently from GME. These are different charts, and so where GME you can draw an ascending triangle, an upward sloping channel, potentially a pennant and a bull flag. on GME, you don't have the ascending triangle. You don't have the upward sloping channel, but you might yet get it. Where would it come in at? A joint high with this all-time high, a joint high with this previous one, previous one, a retracement up here that then failed and went down again and wouldn't be considered bullish yet would take you to the 786. And at that point, you'd be looking at $60. And is that the sort of area where people manage the risk? Quite possibly. Is that 6.65 to 618, this golden pocket area? Well, it is also an area where you would really want to manage your risk. It's at $50. It's the golden pocket retracement. It's why I said $50 earlier. You talk about the idea of testing a trend. Well, if you're putting in a higher low here, you're not testing the 200 period moving average on the daily time frame. So that's not the trend check. You have dropped below the 50 and then recovered it. That would be in at around 38.6. 83, no, sorry, 41. That's in a real fucking whatever, right? Call it 39. It's actually higher. If you get in there, open and close, daily time frame, body close, body close on your third one above that area, then the 50 period could have been considered a trend check. You drop below it, you recover it. That at the same time come in as Class B bullish divergence and the flux on both of these indicators, but convergence on your momentum. Then you'd see that we'd be looking to higher levels, right? You'd have recovered to 236 at that stage. You would have said you've probably put in a reliable trend check on that 50 period, and you'd have put in a very positive fixed signature with regards to its own Fibonacci sequence that it itself is made for it because of the nature of price action and market psychology of those participants who we all know because it's each other here. And so, those are the areas you're targeting, right? The 382 at 41.21, but that's still the same as the 50 period moving average. After that, I don't think this is your area you're looking to. It's this downward sloping diagonal supply line, which at the minute comes in at around $45. That's also confluent with the 0.5, and you get here, that's not even breaking the trend to the top side. So you'd expect at least price action to go here because you are in a period of flux that might be a pennant. And what does that look like? It looks with a higher high and then a lower low, right? Where is it, right? It's a low, right? It's not necessarily a lower low, but it is within this tiny leg of price action. But how are you going to just get rid of the fact that this is an exceedingly good cake, right? You can't. There you've got your higher low, right? Then you've got a lower high, and then this is what we've said here, right? This is the buy support area. You have a higher low. Then what do you go on for next? Having put in your first counter trend move, right? This was like here, your lower high, right? Because it's lower than up here. So obviously it itself is higher than its previous low, but it's lower high. And then, well, does that mean you're in the downtrend with a lower high? Well, you come in and you put in a higher low, right? Two things that both are counter to the previous trend. It is self-defined. So then you'd say, well, it wouldn't be out of the question to go up and put in at least a lower high at this point, at which point you're asking, is it really putting in an equal or higher high? But at the very first instance, where would a lower high come in? Where would it fail? Well, Dow theory says you can get a 50% retracement against the trend and then can expect continuation. At here, if your 50% comes in at 46.15, if it gets there, why the fuck would it not just go up and test the golden pocket at 51 and change? Why would it not do that? AMC is going to $50. The measured move after that, open and close above this golden pocket, even on a 4, fuck it, 4 hour, give it a daily, open, close, body close, body close, above $50. It's just going to then, it's 51.26. It'll go to the 786 because that itself, failing that, could be a bullish but then failed bullish retracement. You could even go to the 886, which is up at 66. Call it 66.66 because it's nearly Halloween. Or 60, whatever, if you're an ass about things. And then you have your previous high up at $74 and change, or just under that, right? Give or take a penny or two. Unless you're Vlad, in which case you shut the fucking button off as soon as you possibly can. You're not giving any pennies because you're shitting a brick. allegedly. The extension on this Fibonacci, the white one we drew on, which is this recent high to this low, is the 1272, which is also confluent with the measured move from whether it be a pennant or a bull flag or even a potential wedge. Those areas, should you break your all-time high, which I expect you to put in a degree of resistance when you get there, right? Previous peaks likely are resistance or support. Peaks and troughs. So you're looking here at 1272, but you've got other areas with all-time high breakout of that. The measured move of 483.92. Above that, you're looking at $97, right? I've been saying $97 on Jackson Hunter's channel, on everybody's fucking channel that I've ever talked about AMC on since months and months and months and months and months, right? $97. Check it out. And that's where price action is going to go to. And people will say, I called it, I did this, I did that. You can all suck my fucking balls. And then after that, it's going to go $137. And you didn't hear it here first, though it was here, but it wasn't now. It was also back then when I said that that was the next move. And that's very, very high. But it's unlikely to be as much of a measured move, as much as a percentage increase on price at the end of the day, when we're all said and done and we're all joining ourselves on a lovely sunny island and saying cheers everybody in person. The truth is that it's likely that GME does a bigger percentage move. Now, I can't bother explaining that because of the abuse that comes with it, but I'm telling you how to trade both of these things and anything else that you might ever happen to want to trade. And that is the TA on AMC and GME done in daily time frame, everything you could possibly want to look at. Perhaps I could have touched more on how you use these indicators. But if you want to know that, refer back to the early part of this video. You should watch it. You should, if you know other people in AMC, this is something they should watch. It's good news. It's things that they can trust because it's good technical analysis from somebody who knows what they're doing. And if you care about people who are in AMC, share this video with them. It's important. They don't have to subscribe. It's for the betterment of AMC. And there's your fucking targets. Absolutely lovely, jubbly. And I'm going to go and use the bathroom. You all can thank me with the likes and the comments and the congratulations and stuff like that. And all those other things that people do. What do they do? Is this chat camera come back yet? Do you want to come back, mate? We'll sort that out later, possibly. Or not, maybe not, because I did knock it over. Despite me thinking I'd fixed all the knockings of things over, I have not managed to. Bong bong. That one, not right either. What is it? Am I even having a shower in here? More money. Money, money. How do they even code that? My playthrough is sucking at life right now. Well, you're here, bait bucket, so you're not sucking at everything. And if you need a hand with anything in particular and you think I can help you, give me a shout. Right, so what is it? I was going to, yes, use the bathroom. You were all going to congratulate me on how amazing everything was. I was going to say thanks. And hello, West Coastonians. Geez, you guys are nowhere near as generous as the East Coastonians. I'm not doing these late night episodes anymore. Flipping heck, that was good to you. I hope everybody enjoyed it. And next is this. Yeah, is it? What is this? Thanks, Jamie. Hey, and he's back. Back and back just long enough to point out how that was probably quite a professional episode. So what we've been through recently, going by how YouTube has managed to demonetize all the most recent videos, perhaps because we broke the fun threshold. And if that's what you're interested in, somebody who knows what they're talking about can communicate in a way that helps you learn how to do this yourself and change your life and the world around you, while also adding fun and hype into the mix. Join us on this channel for similar professional TA on Mondays, where we do Tradespotting, and add me to your Monday milk. Then on Tuesdays, we have a bit of fun with tadpole games. If you didn't see it, the inaugural episode is there for everybody on record. Check it out, it's fun. And then on Wednesday, we have today, like today, very professional, but they're wet your pants Wednesdays. Thursdays, we go back to fun again a little bit because it's getting towards the end of the week. But we look at Max Payne, and I give you the TA that a lot of people simply use for deciding where they're going to put in their entries or their orders, depending on if they're buying or if they're selling covered calls or whatever it is that they're doing to improve their own life on any of the stocks that we happen to talk about. And we also cover anything else you'd like to do. So you just submit a ticker and I'll get round to it for sure. And what we also do is we like to whap off people's heads so that their warm sangria coats of fresh paint of red across the gamma ramp, and we're able to bleed out that red in our watermelon uniforms and enjoy higher and better price action each day. So when that happens, you know who to thank. They're the ghosts that you see in the chat box here and other channels. So thanks very much. I would carry on and do other things, but because, as I say, it was a rather professional episode so far, and hopefully people share it with their friends and get that important information out there, I won't distract with anything else. And I'll now chop off someone's head with the help of Ghost of Wolfric. He's our head executioner here, and he's also a ghost himself. Who is it? Whose heads are we chopping off? Huh? Who's looking for their head be chopped off? Wilfric's the one that's going to be doing it. There as he is, sharpening, practicing. Who knows? Was that sharpening or practicing Wilfric? Who is it? Right? Who is it? Who's up for it? Tradespotting. I would like to do Jackson Hole. I'd love to do Jackson Hole. Gaston Hole. Tradespotting. With loads and loads of $150 puts expiring on the 15th, do you think GME would drop to around there? I think that we defined the horizontal levels based on the TA. I think that the Max Payne is not defined simply by the open interest on one side of the trade, but by both. I think that there are idiots out there, who talk about open interest as if it itself is where price action will go. Now, those people, right, who do that, they're idiots, right? They're idiots. That's coming from a classical chartist who lived and made his money, and his whole professional career was, and all the training I had about doing this sort of thing while I worked for one of the biggest banks in the world who do this better than anybody else, was all about open interest. And I'll tell you that if you don't combine it with technical analysis that looks at the support and resistance, yes, those hated bing bong lines, if you don't do that, you're doing fucking nothing. You're taking the piss out of yourself. That's not real technical analysis. It's just stupid, right? You're likely going to then find only nothing but confirmation bias. You're never going to help yourself, and it's irresponsible to be putting out that level of information if you don't know what you're talking about, which is what people are doing. People who they themselves diminish the quality of the work that we do around here. What is a joke? Those themselves, people who think that me and myself is a shill. Haha, how funny when I've added to the market cap of GME. Aye, who else can say that they've done that in as significant a fashion? Very few people. Most people have to do it with their wallet because they can't do it with their own brain. And we're helping everybody do that. So who's getting their fucking head chopped off? Shake, you sticking your head above the parapet. Anyone who talks, is my head worthy? Buy and hodl, your head is so very, very worthy. That's a silly question. We're going to chop your head off so very good. Oh my goodness, this is going to be fantastic. And as is tradition, jeez, the book of records is so full of records. As is tradition, we will record that today, which has just changed in my time zone, but it hasn't in yours, I hope. And if it has, just forget about it. Today, the 6th Wednesday, a day that I did TA that should frickin' be famous. So, hey Jamie, can you please show us in detail how to use the DMI ADX to find divergence and hidden divergences? I understand how to do so on the RSI and the MACD, but not the DMI and the ADX. Did I teach you those two previous tricks, Stefan? Because then you're in my debt to the tune of $100,000. And to learn the final answer, that how do you do similar on Rocky Outcrops DMI, the greatest indicator that's ever been invented, in my personal opinion, not at all a joke, then you'll have to repay me a $900,000 and still you'll be getting a bargain. And whatever you pay me, you'll make back 1,000,000 times over, and that is the answer. Fish head. But I'll probably get around to it, Stefan, likely on Friday in the Trade Spotting Trade Sloshing Fridays. I forgot to mention Trade Sloshing Fridays. We have the Wheel of Doom, and we've more to come. We have the smoke machine. We have the crazy lights when I get them working. We have this great camera when I stop kicking it over, and if it's possible to fix it, which I will be doing shortly, should it be possible. And we've got other excellent things coming that I can't describe how fantastic they are. I need a little bit of help with them, actually, and I will get around to the housekeeping after I chop off Ape Huddle's head. Ape Huddle. Why did I call you Ape Huddle? It's Buy and Huddle. I'm now conflating names. Well, it doesn't really matter because your name's going to have to change. That's the rule. Buy and Huddle. So your name has been recorded in the book of records. Wulfric sharpened his sword. I heard it. Make your way up the gamma ramp, and everybody else, you get your clothes off quickly, Buy and Huddle. Everybody else, wrap them in palm leaves. Katie, I am already a headless corpse, the two-handed stunk puppet of the gods. The gods up my points when I sacrificed myself in the stream the other day. It was deemed worthy, Tradespotting, book me. Who deemed it worthy, and why is your name not changed then? Brian Huddle, it was a living legend. It was his name. He was a top AF, Jamie. In and out with the TA quickness on GME. Many thanks. You're welcome, Jorge. In and out, and it was freaking comprehensive at the same time. Concise, delightful, loquacious, vivacious. Everything you could possibly want, and totally bodacious. Thank you for the donation. It's mucho appreciated. Ham the Trader, bye Kimmy, bye Kimmy. Where are you going, Kimmy? Kimmy, yo. Ghost, Buy and Huddle, thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you for your sacrifice. Did it hear it? Well, it must have come with a sonic boom. From up here, it takes a second to reach me. Whoa, there it was, though. That was it. There's no mistaking it. And there's no mistaking that feeling. Oh, the beautiful sangria spreading all over my beautiful face. That's how I keep so young and fresh. Everybody says, Jimmy, you're not really that age. And I say, no, I'm not. I'm much older, but I'm way older. But should I tell you the truth, you'd never believe me. It's all of the sacrifices. That's not where the power's really going. It's going with the flippy flappy when, and everybody knows why we do this. And if you don't, what? Anyway, hit the like button. Thank you very much. Let's hope this is the sacrifice, is the one the gods will be looking for. Let's see. I think, and I think a lot of people would agree with me too, that Buy and Huddle is a super nice guy, and he really, like, the gods should definitely appreciate his company over the next wee while, as I have so much down here. It's a big sacrifice for us all, actually. Perhaps me more than anyone. Throws leaves. Corey's headless ghost. You don't have to be a headless ghost, but Corey, who lives in the moment. Kimmy yo, Kimmy yo, Kimmy yo. Going to yo yoga, huh? You have to go to yoga. How inconvenient. Lights, ceremonial pipe. Nice. I need to get me one of these accessories. So that's fantastic. Buy and Huddle, he's been chapped. Delightful. Well, I loved it. Did you like it? What I also liked about today's stream, now that we're here, we're approaching the housekeeping section, is, though I can't show it because I'm too blurred, is the lovely light gradient behind me. I thought that was quite nice. I did appreciate it myself. But it is what it is, right? And what it is blurry. What about these screens? What can we see here? Oh, it's a little bit more of me at least. That's something, isn't it? I could celebrate that. Here I am. That's that famous Star Trek song. And you can see what I can see. Of course, I'm here with my friend, And this is me up on the top left. This is me with the on the moon, and you can see I've got a flag with me, and it's GME flag. And you can see here I've got these two speakers either side of where I'm sitting. You can see what I'm looking at, and that's ultra wide, like my ultra wide brain. Right, there's other things I wanted to cover, and it's the housekeeping part. So if you want to help me do something with this channel, make it even amazinger, or even just increase the watch time by sticking around, please listen and help me do these following things if you're at all able to do any of them. And they are wherever they are. Where are you, Jamie? Give me your freaking emails. Yeah. Yes. So I know there are lots of you that might want to or will be able to help with following. So if you can, please get in touch with me either via Rocky's Discord or somewhere else. Does Google give you a favor for super chats, or do they just take the skim? They don't give me a favor. They take 30%. So there's other ways to donate. Frozen Puck. All the links are in the description. Loads of different ways to support the channel. YouTube take a whopping 30%, which I don't really think they deserve. But hey, well, they're not going to listen to me, and they literally don't listen to me. So, yes. So alerts from this leads segue back into this. What I was saying, alerts from the crypto and the PayPal's to go through Stream Element donations. Need someone who understands how to do a little sprite sheet and who can work up little animations for different donations, and need a news sign. So if you are used to making commercial signs, right, or have any feeling that if you've got a CNC router and could just perhaps cut one out for me, that'd be great. So get in touch with me. Need props and set props and TV props made for tadpole games and podiums for participants. Now, how that's going to work is hilarious, right? You'll love that, but I need the actual podium made. So again, you know, maybe you've got experience if you're a carpenter or something, right? No, I legit need anything, right? People, this is all legit, right? So, and especially if you've got any experience with set design or digital design, because they'll need you, of course, to do other stuff too. Please, thanks. Proprietary music, if you're fantastic at music, right? Please, catchy jingles, excellent, right? Songs, so on. I'm going to speak to Shake about that shortly, but also anyone who can help. They have to be really good, right? Because I'm very abrupt and autocratic and really terrible to work for. So, you know, just bear that in mind. Thank you so much for your generosity and your patience. Transition screens, yeah. Anybody who can help with 3D animation and things like that, please make me shit. Animations like that. If you've seen the intro to Goliath, right? If you haven't, look it up. That would be incredible if I could have that as a transition, please, somebody. And then that sort of thing, but with obviously unreasonable and featuring it, right? And then help getting the alerts. Joe Blobs is already working on it, so it's tainted true. But if you can help, please do. It's alerts to get things to this thermal printer here, as you can see. And then anything anyone sends me, whether it's live on a stream or not, I'll be able to answer it with a Twitter tweet reply. So you'll always be able to send me an alert. I'll read everything out. I'll never miss it. Also, I'm going to use the same system or part of it to get things through to a pager, so you can page me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with any TA you might look for on anything you're about to do. So you'll always be able to get some opinion from me to help you with your trading. Not that it's financial advice, but you can put my TA along with your own and then make your own decisions, right? Not based on anything I say, because it's not financial advice. So this is that. Buy and hodl, your name hasn't changed, and it doesn't make any sense because you're now no longer alive. Somebody sort that out. It's important. If it doesn't happen, you're likely to face a ban. It's that bad around here. We're very strict, like I say, autocrat, tough to work for. I thought you got that sorted. Well, we've got people on it, Chris. We've got people on it, but every man to the and lady to the, what's it, to the back of the van and push it. What is it? You put to everybody pedal to the no. What is it? Everybody's shoulder to the wheel. What is it? Everybody. Those things. I am a carpenter. Homer's ghost. Can you cut out a huge Tradespotting sign that looks like that logo you can see there with the T and the S, where the T and the S will be separate, so that I can put a light box in each of them and have them like go different colors based on the lights in the stream and whatnot, and also have it perhaps with like also that would be a huge sign that would go behind me when I'm doing the like this screen here, and I've got a news desk and stuff whatnot and everything that looks all awesome. And then also I'd need one that goes, because yeah, what I've got at the minute is I've 90% finished this. So for the first project I wanted to do was what the stream would look like we were all starting in a spaceship, and that the spaceship was starting. So what I've got at the minute is, you can likely see it if I go to this screen here, is these two monitors above you. I've got the smoke machine in the right place and everything works, and these things go up and down, these screens, and behind them they've got a little cabinet that I made that holds them with a lid and whatnot, and I need to get the smoke machine to be going through them. So that the lights all look good and it feels like we're actually in a spaceship. And then what else? On the far side of that, I need to have two Tradespotting logos so that the camera can then roll away from me in the intro as it zooms in, and you can see those two Tradespotting signs on the back of the cabinet as the monitors come up, and then we'll flick to this camera. You can see now will be a slightly different position, and you'll see the start of the spaceship, right, as the room will do a little bit of a shake and whatnot. I've got stuff set up for that. And just as that camera is zooming away and before it opens to those signs that I'm going to get somehow made, don't know how possible yet, I'll have the doors opening, right? Sliding doors opening beforehand. Bing bong, the price is wrong. You can see where I'm getting inspiration from likely with this. And yeah, so that'll open that zoom effect, the parallax zoom. That'll be as if I'm walking through the doors. Everyone will be like, hi, great. Cameras will like start going. Everything will start rising up. The smoke machine, whatnot, will all be in the spaceship. It'll take off. We'll zoom into the charts. We'll get the transition made. And then we'll blend that in to all the other work everyone's doing. So that's the idea. We'll get the engagement up, and then I'll get the different camera angles on the go. I'll have the different things shooting around so that people can see every 15 seconds some sort of change. So they're engaged and they're then able to learn with the way I talk about things, which is sometimes a little bit mumbled. So I need to increase the delivery on other things and that. And I don't want to do it by taking money off people. So if possible, do it with people and the skills they've got. And anytime you want to contribute with any of those things, right? So any of those things, and it may be that you are creative yourself, hopefully in some way, and you've got some skills that aren't anything to do with what I just said, and you think, hey, I could make this and that would make his shit better, and that, I'd fucking love it. I'd love it if you could do that. So yeah, thanks. And then loads of people have done it, and those people have really turned the stream around from what was nothing to what it is now, which is such a huge improvement. And to them, I thank those people who put that effort in, or those people who contribute in that and make it so much better. Obviously, I put it back into what we're seeing, so that's how it works. Am I pretty now? You are pretty, Buy and Huddle. You still, Wilfrick, you needing to sharpen that sword or something? For some reason, Buy and Huddle is still, despite the fact that I saw his head being passed around there, he's somehow able to talk with having the same old name. It's weird. Tradespotting, as a busy, poor, smooth brain ape, I salute ya. Thank you very much. You're very much appreciated. Everybody is. Doesn't matter what paid. Turnips, 5517. If you're fucking excellent, top of the tree, amazing person, and you're contributing, but you don't want to do it for free, and that, and you don't feel that there's the value exchange here's good enough, then sure, fucking right, man. I'll pay you. I'm a poor porridge eater, so please help me. But yeah, definitely, like, I believe, especially in creative, people being rewarded for their efforts and don't think they're paid enough. So like, I do try, and that anyone who's got experience, I feel, will tell you that Jamie's more generous than you might expect and that. So I try to be, but like, whatever. So it is what it is. So that you can help, and I'd happily help back. Ghost of DoomSlayers, the production value going into Tradespotting is beautiful. Thanks. Well, it's all thanks to you, and that's for you. So you don't need to thank me. You just need to enjoy it. Like, if you had like a really nice jacuzzi delivered and that, and you were outside chilling in it in the early evening watching like an Ibiza sunset, and your favourite tune that you hadn't never heard before comes on, Die and Huddle now, yeah. And then, you're not going to turn around and thank the jacuzzi, though. You just enjoy that that upgrade, that leveling up that you're getting. Just enjoy it. You know. Thank you very much. It was appreciated. The donations really appreciated. Cheers. Right. So that's it. So that's the housekeeping. You don't have to get back to me right here and right now. Sleep on it. Right. Sleep on it. Turnips and Co. Yo, turnips. I like your name. But I'm terrible to work for. It's partly because I don't like to pay people. But if I do pay you because you're doing something, then pay healthy, good monies. But it probably wouldn't be what you're worth. Like probably if you're like helping me out here, I don't have the facilities to stretch to what people really deserve. Like really, really good people. I don't have it. So whatever it would be like. I don't know, likely I'd still be in your debt if you're good at things. That's like the best way I can put it. It's the truth. I have a friend with 3D printer, 2 Tradespotting logos, each layer able to have a light behind it. Yeah, that would be freaking quality. That'd be pretty much it. You know, they don't have to be light boxes themselves. They could just be like, you know, some representation of the whole idea. Or like you know, that they could be light boxes, each one, and that. But it could be like, this could be like a bit of wood CNC rooted with like 2 lights behind it and the deficient, like some sort of distinction between the S and the T there. I don't know. Some people are like, fucking make signs and they're amazing. Also, what I'm going to be doing is other things like trying to get things like, Chris, you might be able to help me, like other people might be able to help me. I'm trying to get Wi-Fi controlled versions of things. One's a claw grabber, so if you can help me work that out. It's difficulty because dealing with Chinese factories can be get a bit hit or miss, often very miss. So anyone who's got any help with that sort of thing too, you know, anything, right? I'm very esoteric over here until such times I am. Welcome, Jack the Ripper. Welcome, Jack the Ripper. Welcome very much. Welcome very much. Welcome very much. Welcome. There he is. Welcome a chimp. Frickin' heck. Jack the Ripper. Welcome a chimp. Jack the Ripper. There's a ghost to Dan. Just DMs about your music in Discord. Tell me what you want and I'll make it. Excellent. I'm shit at DMs in Discord. Don't know anybody's names for real anywhere else anymore, Dan. Do you know what? I just make a really catchy song. Like the sort of thing that should be on a fucking advert. Like that's so good that it's way too good to be on a YouTube channel. But still lasts like only like, you know, there's a 5-second version of it, which still somehow you can recognize as part of the 25-second. And like it actually could be a game show and you can't get it out of your head and it's like amazing. And it's at the same time as being like a little bit like funny. It's also like really fucking cool. That, like if you can do that, whatever that is, there's a point that you should be getting paid like even more money than you'll ever have ever had. Like that, like so. Your magnum opus. Your yeah. Like probably if you just went for a fart in a box, it would sound good enough. Whatever. But yes, please. That's what I would say in the DM, Dan, which I'll never probably get to. Send in. Demi, did GME give his opinion on DRS? Yeah, you're joking, aren't you? You're joking. Yeah, I've seen your name like at least 10,000 times by now. And I'm going to say it wrong, having said that. Visrige. I think it's all legit, right? And like, though I don't think it's as big a deal as it's ever been made out to be. This is what I've said the whole time, right? It's not as big a deal as it's made out to be, though it might well be helpful. I expect it is. I trust that it is. I think that you know, you don't have to do it. You can do it. I think that depending on who you're currently with, transfer insurers can take, you know, between not all that long at all and ridiculously fucking ages. But that seems to be the way with one broker to loads of different brokers. It doesn't really make much difference with computer share. As a bit of bad mama jamma, hi brother. Then like, so, you know, you can, like big people who hold shitloads of it, you know, cool, check some in there. Hey Jamie, I'm starting to come to the conclusion that the only way to predict a future price action with lagging indicators is with divergence and hidden divergence. Is this incorrect? Well, there's the moving averages are lagging indicators, and although you can do things to them, like have slight variations of moving averages, that then make them less lagging, there are other tools that you can use to do it in a different way. Like, there are some present divergences, some don't. Like, if you're doing it, like, for example, there's also like overbought, oversold. You can use that. There's just, relative comparisons between the things. Doesn't necessarily have to be divergent. Could be convergent. Like they paint a picture alongside price action, so that colors it in a little bit for you, regardless if there's anything that you can distinguish as being different or not. And so there are other ways of doing it. But you're right to have focused so much on learning divergence. It's a huge thing. It's really difficult sometimes. Like, I mean, I'm sure a number of times I've looked back at my own streams and been like, oh, fuck, I totally said that the wrong way or whatever. Like, if you're tired and that, it's hard. And it's best if you're able to do it properly, even when you are tired and that. So well done. Like, with all you focused on there, it's good that you're asking a question like that. It means you've learned loads. But there is more to learn. And there are other ways to do the same thing that you're talking about. You turn something that's lagging not into lagging, like just use something else like that isn't lagging, that does what it is you're trying to do. And it likely won't do what, say, for example, the moving averages do perfectly well, or it won't do what, for example, RSI does perfectly well. And there are other things that you can do with the RSI to define like whether or not it's broken its own trend. And there are other things you can chuck in. Parabolic SAR is a bit of fun, isn't it? Very much, isn't it? Isn't it? Who taught you about that? Was it Rocky? Was it I? Was that one of the ones I taught? Right, that was even one of the indicators that when we were first getting started, I was like, well, if you like that, you'll like this. Though it was a very negative, it was overall very positive exchange for me. And Rocky's the one that deserves the credit for everything I do. Jack, you came to the right channel. You definitely did, Jack. It's great to see you. Have I missed your chat since you said something? Because I've been trying to say what people are saying. I've probably missed. Also, drink water and hit the like button. Thanks. Yes, so we did that. We did well good to you there. It was hopefully helpful for people. This is an unreasonable.shop t-shirt. It is my favourite t-shirt. It's the sustainable cotton thing. And it's the best, most comfortable t-shirt. It's way more comfortable than the ones that are supposed to be comfortable. I don't know why. It's the cotton. It just feels so damn good. You teach me, you freaking teach me, lol. You fucking teach me. You teach me. Imagine that, You had a teacher in school and that, and all the pupils were like, fucking teach me more, teach me more. Yeah. Still, I don't know how I feel about that teacher name, like label of being teachery. Don't know how I feel about it. When I was at school, Rocky and I made a website about the school, and at the end we were like, took it a little bit too far, got a little bit too. This is before, like, Facebook existed, like long before there was a social network. We made one for schools, and ours was like really good. Still getting better, but I really appreciate you sending me stuff to make me feel better. I got one more night of this and should be getting better. So this is one more night of the huge escape hatch. Looks like you had a rocket take off from inside the house, BMG. I mean, I suppose that's kind of convenient if you're going to the moon and that. You're like, well, fuck this place. I'm going through the roof. Like, like the end of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and the start of Charlie and the Glass Elevator. And he's like, well, and Charlie's like, can't believe it. What? But this place is so good. And he's like, mate, this is nothing. Where we're going, we don't need roofs. Boom. That's what BMJ's house like. This minute. Stefan, Rocky has a lot of really good vids. You should watch them. Fucking right. But Stefan knows all about Surely Goodness. Don't you, Stefan? You guys must be like, you guys are like second cousins at this stage. You don't know you're related, but you are. You are the professor. I don't know. Like, very early when I was the first high school I went to, I got expelled because I was involved with a group of people who set the teacher's hair on fire. And next teacher school I was at, I was suspended within a couple of weeks for throwing chairs at teachers. And in the school I finally ended up at, I ran a social network about the school, and then when I was forced to take it down, I also decided I'd fucking bring down the school network and replace it with a big sign that says all teachers are fannies. Nah. Don't know, like, I was never particularly good with teachers. And then I went to university and I was like, why you think you're teaching me? And it was some fucks that I hated them the whole way through, even the ones that were good. And that some of them I were like, these teachers are good. So then when my mum was over visiting, I was like, Mum, you could go to that lecture, you'll enjoy it. And sent her along. She did enjoy it. She thought they were great. So the hidden divergence looks like a lot of convergence. Hidden divergence does look a lot like convergence. Yes. With a sky dome. Legendary school career, totally. Every school I went to, people will tell you there's some people who sometimes tune in at these chats who just so happen to find someone on it and they were like, holy fuck, he was that guy that went to that school. It was haha funny. Friends from other schools, well, they weren't friends at the time, but they knew it was. They'll tell you every school I've ever been to, every single school I've ever been to has burnt down. It's fucked up. Like, not just burnt down either, like burnt down in a glorious blaze. Huge glorious blaze. Until you'd think like, so wow, that's so fucking burnt down that the person that burned it down must have really, really, really wanted to fucking burn it down. Like, not just start a fire, but burn that thing down. That's what you'd think. But it's ages ago now, and all the evidence is washed away. Lamau, did you? I don't know, mate. Anyway, so it was great chanties. We all had a great time, didn't we? I think that was a fucking huge rip-roaring success in terms of like my objectives when I do these streams. To speak to people, connect, say hello with my friends who really are my friends now. You guys are my friends in my life, really. This is my life. You guys are my friends. And Rocky, who's on here all the time. Allegedly. All of that stuff's allegedly, and everything I say is allegedly, and nothing can be used against me. Everything's said without prejudice. Every single thing I've ever said since I was born has been completely made up, shouldn't be taken seriously. It's all total madness. Don't believe a word of it for any reason. Don't use it for anything. Don't take it seriously, and know that it's all silly. Thank you very much. Especially the stuff about finance or that, just like it's not real and that, eh? Like, that might not even be the GME chart. Who the hell knows, right? I could have drawn all that shit out just so that it made me look good, couldn't I? Allegedly and stuff and whatever, right? You know, anyway, if you've been here before, you know the chat, and if you're still watching now, then chances are you've either fallen in here by accident or yes. You know the chat. So that's it. That covered everything there, I think. I even got to see BMJ. Right. And what else? I'm glad to be your friend. I'm glad to be your friend. Short GME, GMETA. Clip on Twitter. Yay! Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Shane. Everybody, check it out. Twitter share, push that short GME clip. How do I pin it? Do I pin it? Can I pin it? Can I even? Do you want to let me pin it? Does it matter? People can see it right there. Pin, put user in timeout. Shall I just do that? Oh, I'll just put you in timeout. Oh yeah, it's just gonna boom. Joke. Replace the time thing. Is that even the right one? There it is. So you can go and watch that short GME clip, which you might if you're, get your GME fix, get that logo, and oh yes. When we rip. Kanga Goon. Whenever you get back from Mother Superior with the goods, Kanga Goon, then we rip. Tradespotting, do you think GME is a bunch of FDDs piling up? Do I think it does? Are you fucking joking? Get out of town asking that question. That's so fucking ridiculous. Do they? Of course they do. For goodness sake, it's not FTDs. Not only do I think they've got a pile of FTDs building up, I understand and I've explained along with Rocky Outcrop. You do know how Rocky Outcrop is too. Why are you asking that question? You know how Rocky Outcrop is? YouTube.com/Rocky Outcrop, right? It's not just FTDs. You understand the context of what they are, how they turn into failures to deliver as just one half. There's failures to receive the other half, and how you can force a buy-in or get your broker to or get your exchange to, and how FTDs are very different with regards to the effect on your collateral position than other people might have told you or you imagine if you don't know about this stuff. And also, they will be included in any calculation that leads to any liquidation. And so they'd be sorted out ahead of time with your collateral currently on the line, should there ever be any liquidation events. So none of them will be subject to any bankruptcy law. We explained all that and talked about the FUD that other YouTubers have got a fucking huge audience and that, and get like 20 odd thousand views per video talk about constantly and that. And it's like, no, that's all wrong. It's all wrong. Right. And I know, right, I've written my name and signed on forms all about fucking FTDs when I worked at banks. Right, I know all about them, and so does Rocky Outcrop, and you know the other side of them too, the FDRs, the failures to receive. That's what's important. That's where the power lies. With you. You are the power, right? Don't let anyone tell you different. And it is bastards that run the world, and they have done it for years before you were born, and they will do it for years after you die, unless you do something about it. And the only thing you can do about it is buy and hold GME. Thanks very much for tuning in. Fuck, the bastards nearly made me break my pencil. Thanks. See you tomorrow for more of the same, but likely better, because we're on